3, 2, 1.
Good day everyone, GarageKing here and welcome to the June 2025 Snap-on Sales Flyer of the Month. I was getting a little bit concerned because it is the end of May. I hold myself to a high standard, but you know what? We're getting it out before June, so my deadline has been met. That is awesome. This one's got some good quarter drive stuff in here, a little bit of 3/8. This one's actually a pretty good one. We got some BOGOs, so let's get right to it. Plus, I want to show you a little bit of a toolbox organizer thing that I did with my toolbox. Thanks to a viewer, mind you. Thanks to a viewer. All right, so let's begin. Here we just have some regular advertising. I don't even know if we have prices. I think we might on this TPMS sensor here. Let's get some focus there. Yeah, we got a remote triggering accessory, $660. Honestly, I'm not familiar with it. It's a wand. If any of you are familiar with it, that's fine. Just to let you know, it is $660. It is a new product. So this is a new product. So I guess this is just the accessory for $660, and then there's the tool for $1,420. So like do the math, and you're just over $2,000 to reset tires, the TPMS sensor. So it's a lot of money, and really it should be a shop supplied thing, I would think anyway. So let's just move on to what all of us can actually afford and use on a daily basis. All right, we got some awesome BOGOs, and I wanna take a little bit of time to talk about these BOGOs. Now, these ones here are the quarter drive 6-point metric flank. Now, these are the extra. Now, I know it's deep, but it's not extra deep. They're the extra, so the flank drive extra. So these ones are sort of super tight. So there's the regular sockets, and then there's the FDX, which are sort of, they're the same size, but they're just a little bit tighter. I know that sounds like I'm contradicting myself, but they're designed for really sort of, I guess, corroded bolts. You might have to hammer your sockets on. I don't know. Anyway, it's a BOGO, so you're getting 5 to 15, $555. Okay, that's what you buy. So you're gonna pay $555, and you are gonna get the shallow, and the shallow is $380, and you get the 5 to 15. I'm still thinking of these. I haven't purchased a set yet. I'll show you some sockets that I have in a minute, but as we get down, but I'm really thinking of these because they would have come in handy for the job that I'm doing now. So yeah, if you're wondering what that is a transmission out of a Vanagon. There's a camshaft, but underneath it was like super rusty. I was able to put new bolts in. There's the shifting mechanism. You can see I have new boots, new bushings, new bolts. And you know what? Those would have really come in handy under this vehicle because it was actually quite rusted. So here we have a metric socket BOGO Bounty. So metric sockets here, that's awesome. Here we have quarter drive. Now these are not flank drive extra. They're just the regular flank drive. These are deeps. You get 5 to 15, 481 quarter drive, 12 piece. Buy, and you are going to get the shallow socket set. Same thing, 5 to 15 that are worth $332. So if you don't have quarter drives, now may be the time to buy get. And if you're looking at 3/8, they do have BOGO for the 3/8. That is 8 to 19 right here. So we got 8 to 19 for $530. That is a 12-piece set. And you are going to get the shallow set, 8 to 19 again, for $352. So you're getting 24 pieces for $530. So that's a 3/8. That's the quarter drive. Now my quarter drive, you can see here, I have quite a bit. They are in the foam. I absolutely love them. These ones here are all quarter drive sockets. So I have the shallow, I guess the semi-deep, you want to call them that. And then I have the deep. So I keep them all clean. I do use them, but I really try to keep my tools clean. If you're wondering, yes, they are in fact used. But I have all the quarter drive, but as I mentioned earlier, I do not have those flank drive extra kind of super tight ones. And in terms of 3/8, really guys, all I have is the 8 to 19 set, which is great in Snap-on, that's shallow, but I don't have it in deep. I just don't have it in deep. The only thing I have in deep 3/8 is right here, which really isn't a heck of a lot. All right, so let's pan to the next page. So now we have some quarter drive ratchets. So we have a regular one and we have a long neck one. Now, one thing I did want to ask is for these quarter drive ratchets, and it says they produce a powerful 35 foot-pounds of torque. So that's pretty decent. You know what, honestly, I still used Old Faithful. It's an old Blue Point one. And the one thing I find with the quarter drive ratchets is everything is super tight. So I'm wondering, what is the thickness of this body? And can you really get into those spaces? Like, is it really that useful? If you're wondering for the prices, they're actually not on sale, but they're giving you a good trade. So the regular one there, you're getting $85 off with your trade-in. So that puts you around $750, I suppose. And then the long one, which is $875, you're getting $95 off. So that's going to take you into the high 7s. That's for the long one here. And down here, if you're wondering what this one is, that's an impact tool only, so you don't get the battery, $463, and you're gonna get 40 bucks off. So basically you're just, you're just over 400 bucks, and that's what that one looks like, a quarter drive impact. And you know what, honestly, I don't have a quarter drive impact. I've never had a need for it, and maybe it's because I've never used it, never really been exposed to it. Maybe I don't know what I'm missing. I don't know. Anyway, that's that page. Let's keep going, everybody. So now we have some scanners here. There is no prices. What can I say? These scanners must be fairly expensive. They're going Bluetooth, so that's pretty good. I've done a few reviews on other scanners. I use Launch mostly. But anyway, that's their scanners there. I can sort of pan in. They got sleek, sophisticated, streamlined design. They're they're going to obviously promote it, but I don't really have experience with Snap-on scanners, so I can't comment on how well they actually work. This guy seems to be pretty happy with it. Let's go to the next page, everybody. All right, we got some more BOGO. We just got a ton of BOGO in this one. So this is a Pro FI, so it's got the foam organizer. Now here, when paired with the ball peen soft grip dead blow hammer, you'll officially have the industry's best controlled striking force. So what do you think that means? Well, it means if you buy the 5-piece striking pry bar demolition chisel set, there it is for $694.75, and it does come in that fancy foam. You are going to get a hammer for free. So you're going to get a 32-ounce ball peen soft grip dead blow hammer for free. And just FYI, the hammer is worth $208.50. So you're getting that for free. So really take 200 bucks off here. So 654. So for 500 bucks, you're going to get 5-piece striking bar and a really nice hammer. I've never really used the striking hammers. You can see here, I know, I apologize, this drawer is an absolute mess. I have their pry bars, and yeah, I've whacked them a few times, but I've never really found the need to have striking pry bars per se. I just have their regular pry bar set. They're all in there. So next page, they have some limited time deals. At least that's what Snappy calls them, limited time deals. And here we have the midget wrenches. So these are the short wrenches. Now these are not ratcheting. They're just the standard wrenches. And if we look at here, it is 6 to 19, but they come in a Pro Fit organizer, and that is $778. Or if you need the SAE ones, which I wouldn't recommend, you're probably not going to use them very often. Well, I mean, maybe you would, but not on those stuff that I do. I would never use them. You're getting a 3/16 to 3/4, and that is $700. Now, these were one of my first purchases, and my set starts at the 10 millimeter, and it goes to 19. They're quite old. I bought them when they were still, very, very affordable. So I got the 10 to 19 set, and actually, this is the package that it came in. You can see I just cut the package, just try to fit it in my toolbox here. So anyway, I do have these wrenches, and I use them a lot. Where do I use these wrenches? For anyone starting out, I find I use them on brake lines all the time, just because brake lines are always in tight spots, and I just find they're pretty good. And that'll lead us to the next set of wrenches on sale. Flare nut wrenches. So here we got a 6-piece flare nut wrench set. This includes 9 to 21, $553. And if you want the SAE set, not shown, that is $684. I don't know why the SAE set is worth more. Maybe because it's 1 1/8. That's pretty big, because 21, 1 1/8, I believe, is bigger than 21. Could be wrong. Could be pretty close. But anyway, $553 for the metric, $684 for the SAE. The nice thing is they come in a set. It is a 6-piece set, so when you're looking at 19 to 21, don't think you're getting a wrench for every millimeter increment there, because they are double-sided. They come in this really, really nice foam. Now, if we look at mine here, I got that. Let me just get rid of these. These are aviation wrenches for AM. Now, I got the same set. There's 9, and it goes all the way to 21. That is 21. I remember when I started off, I used a crappy flare nut wrench, and it rounded a brake line, and one of the old journeymen there said, here, try this wrench, and you won't want another. And actually, it was a Snap-on, believe it or not, and it worked like a charm, and I couldn't believe how it didn't open and didn't wreck the brake line. So with that in mind, when I found them on sale years ago, I did buy a 6-piece set, and I do really like this set. So I would promote this set, like I would, because I just think it is really, really good quality. Next up, we have high performance. So these are these really, really long wrenches, and I believe one of the ends is ratcheting. So it comes in foam again. I really do like the foam, but anyway, they're very, very expensive. 3.85. So that's $1,243 for a 12-piece metric set. So it's 8 to 19 in a Pro Fit organizer, and if you want the SAE, it is 8/53. It's not shown. It's 5/16 to 3/4. So that's about the same size because 3/4 is equivalent to 19. But anyway, that's just a lot of money. I've never found a need for these. Anyway, that's the price of them if you are interested. Now, I wanted to show you some organization in my toolbox that I talked about in the very beginning. Here you go. Now, if you watched my last sales flyer of the month, you would know that I was complaining about some of my extensions here where the Snap-on ones didn't fit this thing I bought at Amazon. So one of my viewers, let me know that there's a person down in the US that makes these out of billet aluminum. Really decent price. I'll put it up here. It's toolboxbillet.com. And then if you use the code here, let me focus in for you, TBB10, and you get 10% off. So I'm not paid anything to do this. I swear, guys, I'm not paid. I bought them off the guy. I'm just supporting him. He's a small business and he makes awesome quality. So I'm gonna give him a few minutes of time. So I'm gonna take out these ones. These are Snap-on extensions I have. There's a bunch of stuff on the website. Let me take this out and just show it to you guys. So here's what it looks like. And you can see it's engraved there, Toolbox Billet. And there's me in a reflection there, toolboxbillet.com. And it's very, very good quality. Like, it's very affordable. I paid for it with my own money. Like I said, this is not sponsored by any stretch. I did pay for it on the advice of one of my viewers, and the gentleman who owns the business was nice enough to give a 10% discount code. So if you want it, you can use the discount code. If you're wondering if I get any kickback with that, I swear I do not. It's just for him. So anyway, just really nice guy. And that's a shot of how they look there. Nice and sleek. So there you go. All right, let's turn the page. What do we got next? Want to be part of the Snap-on legacy? Snap-on Own It franchise. So here, I guess they're promoting a franchise. And you know what? I guess when you own your own franchise, you are authoring the next chapter for an iconic brand. This is something I've never asked anybody. If there's any franchisees out there that are watching this, and I guess I could ask my dealer, and I actually never even asked him, but how is it being a Snap-on dealer? Like, if I don't know if any of you know dealers or know stories or anything like that, but this is one thing I really don't know a lot about. So feel free to leave it in the comments below if you want. Let's move on. Mighty powerful when the pressure is on. So they are promoting some air compressors. There is no price, so they are probably pretty pricey. 7 horsepower and 8 horsepower. So I'm not an electrician, but I think that almost means you have to have 3-phase wiring once you get up this high. So it is, yes, these are definitely shop grade. So let's turn the page. And that is it for the flyer of the month. What do we have on the back? We have a promotion of a shiny, shiny blue toolbox. What is the color? It is sapphire blue. I like blue. A lot of my vehicles are actually blue, believe it or not. So anyway, that's what they're promoting. There is no price. We know they are, fairly expensive for Snap-on toolboxes. And I guess with 105 years of pride, they got an anniversary edition. So it's a 105th anniversary edition, Epic Series Roll Cab and Work Center. Anyway, that is it for the flyer of the month. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them below. I am GarageKing. That is it for this month for the Snap-on flyers. We'll see you next month. Thanks, everybody.